Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Steve, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apex Online Racing. My name is Ethan Graham, or known as VSR Rotary, and today we are beginning a new Filler League season with the Formula Rookies. Joining me alongside for this season is our very great commentator. She joined Evil Dragon for season 15 in GT3. It's the one and only Jess Games. Hello Jess, how are you doing today?
I am good, thanks, and it's great to get some Project Cars 2 action underway this evening with the Filler League, which is going to be in place of the GT3 off-season, of course, which we don't know what game is going to be on, but we'll have to wait and see. But Formula Rookie is a different type of beast, isn't it?
Yeah, Formula Rookie, also known as Formula Ford, is a completely different style of racing and driving compared to what these drivers are usually doing in the GT3 machinery during the main season. Just to go over this car a little bit, powered by a little tiny 1.6 litre engine, only producing about 106 brake horsepower. So this car has about the same power you'd usually find in road-going machinery in today's world. So in all respect, these cars are so much more different to what you drive on the road today.
Yep, and it's definitely one of the ones where it's definitely kind of almost to my forte, because I'm used to commentating on the Formula 1 cars. So you know, it's kind of the open wheel ones. We haven't had much open wheel leagues in the past. We got Formula Renault, which is broadcast on the Mondays, but they decided to do Formula Rookie on Wednesday instead, and should be great. We've got 4 races this season to look forward to, and starting off with, we'll go through the circuit as we go into qualifying, but we'll start off with Oschersleben B in Germany, with the shortened version of the normal circuit. That's this week. Next week, a familiar face, I believe it was racing GT3s last season, Dubai International. Then on the 1st of July, we are racing at Sportsland Sugan in the final race, Outland Park, Ireland. And then for each race, it's going to be a 20-minute sprint race, which is going to be which is qualifying first, then a 20-minute sprint race. And then the race 2 will be a reverse grid where the top 8 will be reversed. So whoever started on 8th place will be going on to start pole in the second race, which should provides a lot of interesting things. It was trialled out in GT3 last season. Some races it worked well, some races it didn't, but we're back to familiar territory now. So we've gone through the tracks, we've gone through the calendar. We may as well discuss, we'll discuss the drivers in a minute, as we are about to head into qualifying. That was quicker than I thought it was going to be, but there we go, as we're now heading through to Oschersleben.
And on the money as well, dead on 8 o'clock as we usually are, so we're on schedule for this. Like you mentioned, Jess, the format we're using, that was used in GT3, this is much better for these cars. GT3, obviously being a participant last season, I didn't enjoy it too much. I didn't feel it matched the pedigree and the type of racing GT3 machinery does. Obviously, these Formula Rookie cars here is much better for these cars, so we're going to see a lot of close racing. And from what's been said in the group chat, Jess, we are going to be in for an absolute corker of a race this. The pace is so close. I think we could see some very interesting names on the top spots.
Yeah, definitely. I do believe a lot of these guys are aiming for the 111. Some people are actually going to go into the 110s as well, 109s. So that's going to be close. But in the race pace, I would expect to be in the 112s. And as you can see, we've got a full lobby as well to start this GT3 off-season, which is always great to see. But we've got a few drivers, we've got a few familiar faces. Obviously, we've got Jazzman and Tinnis as well, who was in the GT3 season last season, and we've got Vetro, I believe, as well, who was racing last season as well. And we've also got one who's gone off the commentary box and is racing for the first time since the GT3 Filler League and Renault Clear Cup, we've got Mr. Evil Dragon, who's swapped his mic, and it's in on the track. And for the first time this season, Ethan, he's dropped the pad and he's going onto a wheel.
Indeed, it's the wheel that actually broke for me. Well, just my pedals, but he's using my G29 that I've used since my sim racing career. So I've passed down kind of a mantle to him, and he's actually using your pedals from your G920. So
yep.
A real botch job, but it's working out for him. Obviously, new to the wheel after being on the pad since, well, I've been racing with Evil since the Gran Turismo days back on PlayStation 3, and he's used the pad all his life. So it's a surreal experience for him. I've been doing a little bit of driving with him, teaching him the ropes and the basics, and he is getting there. His pace here is very quick. I did some driving with him yesterday, and he was on the top pace, but it seems he's just struggling to get to grip with his cars, but it's his first outing with a wheel, so he's got to learn a lot to learn here, but I'm sure he's going to show off what he can do, and I do like the fact that he is sporting my racing number 37. But a lot of familiar faces here, a lot of new ones as well, but the main important thing is, Jess, they are all very, very close in terms of their pace.
Yep, as well. So we got Evil Dragon and Vetro. They'll be teaming up in the Team Southern Cars livery, and they've got the livery. Well, the team name is Yabba Dabba Doo Racing, which I find quite funny, but it's a kind of a good name actually. And I was talking about Jazzman and Tinnis as well, and I'm trying to figure out what team they're in. I think we've got Jazzman, who is in Slow Motion Ninjas, and that's alongside the Kaiser, and I think we're going to see Jazzman and Kaiser. They're two quick drivers in this league, in the filler leagues, that I'm expecting going to be one of the quickest guys to watch out for. And a lot of people I've been speaking to said that Kaiser could be the man to beat this season.
It's certainly the case, and he's already making his presence felt by setting the fastest lap in qualifying already. I mean, still got 12 minutes to go, but Jazzman and the Kaiser, teammates in Formula Renault, they are absolutely formidable, absolutely amazing pace in that open wheel series, and they're joining together here in Formula Rookie, a completely different style of car. Obviously no wings, no fat chunky slick tyres, really, really small thin tyres that don't really produce much grip. But as you can see, Kaiser's already getting the hammer down, and he's already 3 temps up on this lap, despite going a bit wide there. Track limits here, very, very nasty as well. Also, that gravel trap that Kaiser nearly went in. Get one wheel in that, you are getting sucked off the track. It's horribly bad, that gravel trap, so expect a few people to be dancing into that during this race.
Yeah, watch out for turn 2 and turn 3 as well. The tyres could heat up very quickly as well. And obviously watch out for turn 1 coming up as well, because usually 9 times out of 10 in the Ginetta GT5s, which I had the pleasure, I think it was my first filler league I ever commentated on actually in AOL. It was on the Xbox One, and I believe you raced that in PS4 as well. Turn 1 never goes well in the race, so hopefully in these cars they'll find it a lot easier, but the hairpin is quite narrow, of course. There's only 8 corners around this circuit, and it's one of the circuits, one of the third most permanent circuits in Germany. Obviously we've got Nürburgring and Hockenheim being one of them. As you can see, some of the circuit has been cut. Obviously one of the chicanes has been cut as well, and I can't remember what other corner is cut as well. I do believe the long Oschersleben track was raced in, I believe it was one of the GT3 seasons. I can't remember what season. I think it was either season 11 or season 12, as Kaiser's looking really quick already, as he's on his qualifying trim now, as he's going to cross the line in his lovely blue car. So that let's see if he can improve on his time, and he doesn't improve that much, but he's on a 1:10.4 at the moment, closely followed by Schwartz as well in P2. Schwartz is, I think, teaming, I need to try and figure out where he's teaming on. He's DD Racing alongside Barno as well. I heard of Schwartz before, but Barno, I do believe he's a new driver, but I'm not entirely sure. I need to actually get the gamer tag, so I think I've got their AOR tag. But what is his gamer tag again? I can't remember. Is it Pren? Or is it another guy?
No, his gamer tag is Burno. Burno, he mainly participates in the filler leagues. I haven't seen him take part in GT3, not that I can recall, or do not quote me on that. Schwantz, another familiar driver, raced in Tier 1 in Season 13, GT3. in the Bentley Continental. And I gotta say, he did a cracking job in that car. Really fast at some circuits. I mean, the Bentley, not the most popular choice in this game, but when he got that car working, it was a formidable machine. You know what? Let's take a lap around Oschersleben. Let's see if we can find someone coming up to line. Here's Tinnis. What a great person to do this onboard lap with. So, in fact, actually goes up into P2, 8 times up. But here we go, going down into turn number 1. This is an absolutely horrible corner, this. A 90-degree left-hander with massive cliff curves. Straight into turn 2, now into this long turn 3. This it's a late apex here. Get on the power as quickly as you can. These cars, they're like a big go-kart. You want to keep the revs up really high, chuck into the corners, making sure you maximize that grip into Wissenreuder. I hope I pronounced that correct. Absolutely butchering the German pronunciations. Coming up into this hairpin that has no name. Very slippery corner this. You can see the rear end is flipping around all over the place, almost like it's a drift car. Those skinny, slick tyres not really doing a lot now into the shell curve, into the first part of it, using all the curve, kicking out the rear. For the left-hander, like I said, don't catch that gravel trap on the outside, can catch you out. Now into bow curve, getting a bit on the grass there, don't want to run too wide, it will invalidate your lap. Now into Zeppelin curve, and he's backed out on his lap. I think he invalidated his lap there, Jess.
Yeah, that's a shame there, but you see, he set a not too bad lap time in 5th place as well, and the top 9 are separated by pretty much a few tenths, but already the field, like you said, Ethan, is very competitive as well, and there's one driver that I've seen as well that's not far off the pace either as well in the 111s, who was, I believe, the Tier 3 champion last season in GT3 season 15. It's Leroy down in 13th, but I think he's going to be in a little bit of pressure this season. Obviously, it's his first outing in Tier 1. He wasn't expecting to get into the top tier of AOR filler leagues, but usually, like in the filler leagues, this is a great chance to be in Tier 1 to learn the ropes for some of the quick drivers as well. So maybe having quick drivers around him can help him.
Yes, certainly the case. In fact, goes about 5 tenths up. Him, Leroy and Tonji, we learned, went to school together 15 years ago, and here they are on track in Tier 1 for Formula Rookie. I do want to point out, Jess, we've got 2 drivers tied for 3rd.
Wow.
Jazzman and Kart. Now, Kart is a Tier 2 driver from last season in GT3, and he's gone toe-to-toe with Jazzman for 3rd position. Now, that just proves just how close this field is. 1st place to 13th is covered by less than a second. That is incredible. I'm actually so excited for this. That is mad. And in Formula Renault, the pace is absurdly spread out, unfortunately. But in these cars, it just proves that despite the different skill sets we may have here, obviously Evil being a new driver, unfortunately the slowest of the bunch here, but he is learning. He's still within 2 seconds, which is, to be fair, not bad for his first outing. And then you got all these drivers. I mean, look at Schwantz. He's 34 hundredths off of the Kaiser. So Kaiser's not exactly running away with this like we expected, but well, in fact, there he goes, 3 tenths up. So he's definitely pinning it here. He wants to make sure he's not getting caught up in that turn 1 mess that could potentially happen here. Turn 1, not a great corner for race starts, which will be a grid start for this first race, Jess.
Yeah, the grid start, they don't have a long time to actually get into the rhythm, whereas obviously the rolling start, they've got time to figure out the rhythm and feel for the track a little bit more as well, as Kaiser just goes into the pits, I believe, again, which he does. Yeah. So,
he went... Sorry to cut over you there, Jesse. Kind of caught the curve, bottomed out, caught the grass, and that was the end of his lap. Going wide there, it's an instant lap delete, and it invalidates your next lap, which is incredibly strict at the game. But sometimes punishments are given.
Yeah, it is, which is sad, but at least Kai's had a chance to go again. We've got Esso, who's about to come out as well. Again, another guy who was in the GT3 last season. Didn't score quite well, but I was speaking to him earlier on today as well. He's just expecting to have a lot of fun, really. He's not expecting too much on pace, but P11, only a second off the pace, is pretty good going in his first outing into the Formula Rookies. And again, I'm very impressed with him as well. And obviously Vetro as well, looking quite confident as well. And Mr. Kowski, I probably butchered your name, I'm so sorry. He's got fastest with a 110.427. That's just insane. I wasn't expecting him to go that fast in this tier already. Maybe we may see a dark horse potentially in this league. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But we've got Mr. Kawasaki, I think, yeah, Mr. Kawasaki. Yeah, I'm sorry I butchered that name.
Almost think of Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc., but Mr. Kozlowski. But yeah, going just under a tenth there. He's sending it to Kaiser. He's saying, you know what, I'm gonna have a bit of P1, so we could have a titanic battle. I mean, honestly, we don't know who's gonna be winning this race. It's all out nothing. It's a free for all with these guys. Look at Kaiser almost drifting it like it's wet out there. But just want to have a look around through the field. Honestly, there is so many gaps. Not even that big gaps. I mean, Pren, slap bang in the middle, just over 5 tenths off. There's just so many drivers. 9 drivers within 1 minute 10s. Only 1 minute 12 driver, and that is unfortunately Burno. But still, yeah, 3 minutes and 20 seconds to prove he can get a little bit more pace out of that car.
Yeah, obviously he's quite new to, well, he was quite new to the Tier 1 scene as well, so him getting used to the car as well, and he just found a
there we go.
attempt. There we go, and I think we're trying not to jinx people today in a bad way, but it seems like, Ethan, you jinxed Burno in a good way, so I think he can thank you later.
It's amazing. All 16 drivers within, are all going sub-12s. That's brilliant. It's just incredible to see just how good these drivers are coping with these cars, because a lot of drivers have been complaining about the slipperiness of these cars. Evil, especially one of them, not quite enjoying these cars. I tried it out myself. I gotta say, they are incredibly difficult to drive despite having such a measly engine and skinny tyres, but they are incredibly difficult to drive. So it's really going to be down to who can master this car and come out on top.
It is the calm before the storm now. Everyone's going out for their final laps, 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Will anyone beat the time of a 1:10.4? I mean, well, someone's just beating the time, but it is, again, yes, 1:10.3. As the track is starting to evolve, especially, and the track temperatures, of course, as well, we could start to see people improve. We may see the big names start to get higher up the field as well. Big Kid Daddy doing well in 4th. Big Kid Daddy is teaming up with Tinnis as well this season. So I think 2 of them last season have both been Mr. Consistent in the GT3 season. And obviously Big Kid Daddy, I think, did enjoy GT3. He wasn't that bothered about position as long as he was having battles. And surely he's going to enjoy this league. And with a teammate along with Tinnis alongside him, I think they're going to get on very well together and have some good results.
They certainly are. The teammates in Formula Renault, they get along very well indeed. I've got to say, all of these guys get along really well. Guys, there's a lot of banter in the PlayStation group chat with these guys. It's a really positive atmosphere, and I really hope as they transfer on track and it doesn't end up in a massive fireball where Big Kid Daddy is now entering, because that could easily happen with these open wheel cars. Unfortunately, kind of a trait with these cars, or any open wheel car and project cars too, they just seem to cause a little bit of carnage. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let's go back to last week's Formula Renault race at Sakita, and you will find out exactly what I mean. I'm not going to go into detail what happened there. Yes. All I can say is it was a lot of damage. Just think of Macau when all of those GT3 cars plowed into each other. It's kind of reminiscent of that.
Yes, I definitely remember that. I was watching that, in fact, because, I was watching the second race, but I didn't have a chance to watch the first race. But yeah, just watch that if you want to find out more. We're not going to go to anything more as well. As Big Kid Daddy is not going to have time to improve on his lap, but P4 is not too shabby, so I think he'll be really happy with that as well. There's quite a few people still in the pits, actually. It's Kaiser, I think, is about to start a final lap as well. I think most people in their final laps as well, as most these cars is a different beast as well, because they've got no ABS or no traction control. So for some of these guys on the GT3 that are used to the traction control and the ABS, it's going to be a lot difficult for them, but most of these guys seem to be doing very well so far. As qualifying is now over, our car and pole sitter has gone into the pit lane, and Schwartz I don't think is improving. He's in 3rd right now. Jazzman I don't think is going to improve either, unless he's got some fuel in the car. There's quite a few people about to cross the line now. I think there's a bunch of cars crossing the line. I think we've got Tom, he's not improving either. I think from 9th to 14th are in the pits right now. Everyone else, I believe, still on track. Tinnis has got a few corners to go. Let's see. Oh, as he swerved a little bit like Kaiser did earlier on, but he comes across the line now. Can he improve on his 1:10.8? It looks like he can. We'll see. He's come across the line now. Nope, he's not. I think he stays 7th, so...
I think clouting that sausage curb really, really hampered that lap there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think that's what cost him a little bit. It kind of looked like Kaiser did earlier. And Fren hit the grass there. I don't think he's going to improve on his lap time as well. Nope, he's not. Jazzman's not improving either. I don't think Cart, no, he's not. He's on the gravel as well. You're going to lose so much time on the gravel trap, and yeah, that's over.
Wow. A very, very dominant qualifier there from Mr. Kozlowski. Puts it on pole. Just look at the sector times, Jess. Absolutely amazing just how close these guys are. There's almost nothing in it, but track position is going to be very important in this race. Mr. Kozlowski and Kaiser have got that front row seat into turn number 1. It's all about down to who can get the best start in these cars. Some guys are going to be running the automatic clutch. Some will be using it off. My personal preference, I do like having it off. Seems to give you a bit more grab off the start. It allows you to get a quicker start, I've found out in GT3. So that can really give you an advantage there. Downside is, if you can't heel and toe in these cars, you're going to blow the engine up. So some guys will be running it off. But honestly, Jess, it's going to be a free-for-all going into turn number 1. And here we are lined up on the grid for our 20-minute sprint race. I'm going to say a 20-minute death match is what it's going to be.
Yep, indeed. And no pit stops, I believe, in this league, like the filler leagues and obviously the GT3 sprint races as well. It's pretty much going to be a sprint to the line, pretty much. Everyone's got the same amount of fuel. Fixed setup as well for most of these, pretty much all of these guys. So it is down to the driver to get their strategy right, make sure they don't collide into anyone, and if they don't get any damage, then they should be able to score some very good points. But I think we've got a few. I thought Kaiser was going to win this today. After seeing qualifying, I just can't call it.
No, honestly, you cannot bet on this. We just don't know who's going to do it. I mean, just look at them. They are ready to get going. Just a whole field of Formula rookies here into the probably one of the tightest turns in motorsport, I've got to say. Well, at least on this circuit. Back in the day, hosted GT1 for the 1,000 miles of Oschersleben. And here we go. We're all ready, Jess, for race number 1 of round 1 of the Formula Rookie Filler League season. We are sinking. The lights are coming on. The revs build. The drivers are ready. Let's go racing. And already, look at who's that? Is that Big Kid Daddy? That is Big Kid Daddy. Already jumping onto the start. We're going nearly 3 abreast. 3 abreast. Oh, that is so close. Now here we go into turn number 1 for the first time. Is it all going to be clean and dandy? It certainly is. Schwantz is into the lead. Oh no, he ain't. Kaiser's coming up that inside. But we are clean through turn number 1 into turn number 2. Now Mr. Kozlowski lines up in second. Still battling away with Big Kid Daddy as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised everyone made it clean through turn 1. I'm guessing they probably followed our strat a little bit there as well. But yeah, Mr. Kozlowski got a really bad start, but Schwantz got a very good start as well. And Kaiser stays in 3rd place, and I don't think Big Kid Daddy jumped the start. I think he had a really good start. He reacted, and I think he had his automatic clutch off, so that really helped him as well get the best start that he possibly can as well. As we've got a few people trying to dive around the outside around there, and there's a lot of places to overtake, so we can see a few moves here going into the start of the 2nd lap already, and they're all bunched together. Oh, Evil spun, I think, I can't remember what corner it is. It's
Shell curve, I think you call that gravel trap.
10-7.
I think you call that gravel trap, unfortunately. Hasn't lost too much time. He's not going to be too impressed with that, but there's plenty of time left. And here we go into turn number 1. Again, Jess. Is it all clean and dandy again? It looks like Mr. Kozlowski got forced a little bit wide. And there's a few penalties there. But it's all clean, thank the Lord. This is cracking racing, this. Can't hear any sound though, unfortunately.
Neither could I, because otherwise you'll probably hear my TV. So, probably the sound's pretty good anyway. We've got 3 abreast almost going into the tight corner there. Oh my goodness, how are they doing it without crashing into each other? It's absolutely amazing. I mean, this is just one of the most superb racing I've seen in Project Cars 2, as we do see Vetch. Oh, is that... Someone's gone off. Yes. Yeah, oh, I just jinxed it. Yeah, my first commentary Tater's curse on the stream, and I think, yeah, Bren had a little bit of an issue there. I think that was Leroy. Yeah, Leroy, and I think it was Evil Dragon as well who lost it a little bit there, but
I think it was Vectro.
No, Vectro. I'm losing track of the cars, okay? But yeah, Leroy not having the best start for some of these guys. So Leroy's staying out though, so I don't think he's got that much damage. Tom is going to try and go for a move past Verge. No, Leroy's spun, I think, in the gravel trap. And
yeah, he
got
kind of
damage there.
Kind of difficult to tell from that camera angle. It looked like he kind of pinched Vectro maybe, or maybe Vectro kind of stuck his nose in a disappearing gap, or it could just be the netcode. We don't know. Such a difficult angle to tell there, unfortunately. But Leroy, unfortunately, picking up some damage in these cars. Centre performance impact did not full damage, so it shouldn't affect him too much, hopefully.
Hopefully not, as we've got Fozzie again, who is trying to make up some moves on the start as well. Quite a few actually gained their substance as well. We've got two of the same teams fighting against each other, going side by side. It almost hit the curve a little bit, but luckily they stay together, of course. And my oh my, how on earth are they getting so close to each other? I'm trying to get used to these abbreviations because this is the first time I'm commentating on most of these guys, but they're doing ever so well. But Leroy's going to lose so much time to everyone else who has to, well, obviously the rest of them are staying out, while everyone else is racing so close together. But he can obviously focus on the second race if he wants to. As Kaiser, he's going to try and go for a move into turn one. It's going to be 2 wide this time, not 3 wide. So luckily this is probably going to be cleaner. He's going to go for the lunge almost certainly, but he's not going to go for it at the time being. I think, by the looks of it, I think he stays where he is. And yeah, that was very, very tense, I must say. Schwartz in second.
It actually did Schwartz around the outside to turn number 1, set himself up for the inside of turn number 2 there, actually. He didn't back off from that move.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure if we're seeing... I'm not sure if we're watching the same race here, but...
Sorry.
That's okay, but it's all line of stone going down that... Look at the track map. There's just a white snake going through the shell curve there. It's absolutely brilliant. Not even in the times. I mean, look at that. Top 10 within 6 seconds. So we've still got 15 minutes to go yet. So it's all to play for still.
Yeah, indeed. Schwartz close again, 5/10 per second as well. I think we've got a massive midfield battle coming up as well. So I wonder if Schwartz is going to be under pressure again. This time from obviously Growski and Jazzman as well. They're going to probably go Fiat Rescue to turn 1, so a little bit of contact, and he's gone into the tie barrier that it looks like, and he's got a bit of damage there. And
and he's just pulled out, in front of Burno.
Yeah, that's not good, of course. You've got to safely rejoin the circuit when you get damaged, and that's not how you safely rejoin, my friend. So yeah, that might be investigated later on in the stewards. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but another trip to the pits, I think, for Schwartz is Kawasaki is in second, 8/10 behind now. I think he's dropped a little bit from the leader, Kaiser. I think Kaiser just found his groove a little bit there, a little bit more due to his brilliant move. And he's doing very well, and obviously the green cars are Tinnis and Jazzman, and obviously Carl as well. They're doing quite good. We've got a few penalties though. Vetcher not doing too bad in 8th as well. He's having a good battle of his own too with Fred. So, you know, I think he'll be proud of his results so far as well. And I think he will be happy he's not last. He hasn't had that much damage. He's had a few spins, but no damage from Mr. Evil Dragon. And he's not that far off Dan, who's in 13th. So, pretty good going.
He is lapping in the 12s. He is lapping faster than what he was doing in practice. So I'm sure this is going to be a slight confidence booster. He's been struggling getting this car slowed down. He was kind of just slamming onto the brakes and just locking up. As you can see there in his brake data there, he was only pushed to the brake halfway down. That progressive braking, obviously being new to the wheel and pedals, as he runs slightly wide there. There's a lot of techniques you got to learn, and he's been trying to practice on Gran Turismo Sport, which I'm not too sure is going to help too much, but I guess there is certain ways you can practice. Gran Turismo Sport certainly isn't a way to practice. Oh, wow, Evil sending it into the unnamed hairpin there, and subsequently going wide and loose in the rear.
Again.
Oh no, that is unfortunate to see there. He ain't going to be too happy about that, but it's all a learning process. It's, you know, sometimes you just have to crash to learn, and there's nothing wrong with crashing at all. You know, it's all a learning process, and he will, you know, it's his first race. It's all a learning process, and he will eventually get there. Eventually.
Yeah, it took me a while to learn to transfer for pads for wheel. He's learning quickly than I am. So from my stand, he's doing very well. As we got another one, I think Vetro, I think got tangled with Bren as well. I think Bren and Vetro almost tried to take too many risks, but just didn't quite work actually. So, but I think Vetro is holding on to P7 for now. I think Bren making a little bit of mistakes there. He's got Fozzie and Ezra right behind him as well. Ezra and Fozzie, I believe, on the same team as well. So they're working together to get the slipstream and the toe they need, of course. And this could benefit, especially around here in Oschersleben.
These cars definitely rely off of the slipstream. Not very quick in a straight line at all. These cars don't really go that fast. With only a 4-speed gearbox and easily 106 brake horsepower, they don't really get that much speed. I think the maximum I've seen an actual Formula 4 in real life go is 120 miles an hour. Is Fozzie diving up the inside of Pren there? Plenty of space though. Question is, Fozzie kind of compromised his line there, but some good gear changes will definitely give you that momentum going to turn 1. Personally, I think going around the outside here, trying to outbrake your opponent, it's going to set you up nicely for turn number 2. Let's see if Fozzie tries that. It looks like he is. Has he outbraked himself? He certainly has. Takes to the grass, cuts the inside of turn 2. He's going to get a warning for that, surely. He will surely get a warning for that. Question is the game going to be relaxed enough to let it go, or is it going to stick on? Have to wait and see, of course, yes.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's been, I think he's been forced to let each other through, I think. But again, sometimes the game is a little bit hard to do that as well. As we're running on board with Tinnis at the moment, and he's doing very well on the back of Jazzman as well. They're both rivals in the GT3 League, and they're still running close together in the Formula Rookies, which is great to see right now. And I think Jazzman, I think he's happy that he's in P3 at the moment, but he's chasing down P2 as well. These 4 are all in the 111s. The fastest we get a man on track at the moment is actually Jazzman. So Jazzman is pushing to the limit right now as Tinnis is trying to catch up.
Certainly these guys are just breaking away from the pack. I think we found our top guys here. That's Leroy at the front of this train as a back marker, unfortunately. He is eventually going to have to get out of the way, but where do you get out of the way? I guess you could do it on the back straight here. Not quite long, so he may lose quite a bit of time there. Question is, Leroy's not lapping, well, he's lapping a second a lap slower at the moment, unfortunately, but he is going to have to get out of the way. But this could really change up this top 4 who are, oh, there we go, gets right out of the way here. But there's a lot of drivers really close, so we could be waiting on quite a bit here.
Yeah, definitely.
It comes to a complete stop, actually.
Good on him.
I've never seen a driver come to a complete stop to get out of the way. That's kind of dangerous, that. I wouldn't recommend doing that, because the driver could have easily have pulled out. You've seen what happens when cars don't move on the grid. Somebody just ends up ploughing to the back of them. And it's a nasty mess. Thankfully, no such incident happens here. But he's literally just set himself up to slow down again. There's a bunch of, a lot of more drivers behind him now.
Just look at the train. I think it's mainly the midfield as well. We've got Jazzman, we've got Tinnis, and then we've got Kart, and we've got Big Kid Daddy and Vet, and then we've got Vetro and Pren having their own little battle. It's just amazing right now. Luckily, I think Vetro is keeping Pren behind right now, which he wants to do right now. We've got a cheeky little battle going up front. Big Kid Daddy, I think, tried to do a bit of a send in front. Also, we've got Pren and Essa Racing as well going for it. And Essa, I think, is getting P8 for now, but I think Prem really wants to get the switch back on Essa as he tries to go for a dive. He's going to be a bit late on the brakes, but I think he gets the move done, and nice and control for Pren as Essa goes onto the grass a little bit there, but that's a bit of a shame. But there we go, Pren stays up into 8, but he's gained a little bit of time on Vetro, but not enough. But I think the more they battle, the more the guys in front are probably going to pull away. So hopefully Vetro would want Pren and Essa to keep battling.
Oh, wow.
Pren's gone off,
there
and it's fun.
Oh, that is just a shame there. Like I said, that gravel trap, Jess, is going to kill anyone who comes off, goes into that gravel trap. You literally just put 2 wheels in it, and it just completely dragged him off. Nothing you can do as a passenger. So, where you say Vector is going to want Pren to stay behind. Brendan's done him an absolute favour and has decided to plough it into a barrier instead, but there's no fault of his own. The gravel trap, unfortunately, kind of a magnet there.
Still 16 drivers in this race, so they're still wanting to keep going, of course, but...
very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, actually, as Craig goes into the pit lane, and to be honest, for some of these guys, they're not used to Tier 1, so they just want to learn as much as they can, and you learn more by actually being on the track, so that's why some of them go in there, and it's only the first race, of course, of the season. Obviously, we've got 8 races in these next 4 rounds, and obviously after this one we'll have 7 rounds to go, so plenty of opportunities for most of these guys to improve, and if they have a rubbish first race, then they can concentrate on the longer race where they are probably prone to make a little bit less mistakes. But obviously the longer the race is, the more you've got to worry about the fuel as well, which the fuel should take it to the end. We've got 6 minutes left to go, well 6 minutes 50 seconds left to go, and you could already see Kaiser pulling away by a second right now. We've got Jazzman pulling away from Tinnis, the gap starting to form there, and then we've got Big Kid Daddy 7 seconds behind the leader, 4 or 5 seconds behind Tinnis, so I don't think he's going to catch up there, but he's got Cart behind him and really wants to make a move pretty soon as well. But most of these, I think half the guys got penalties, half the guys are keeping it very clean. I thought more people would get penalties, to be honest, but just goes to show how good this field is around here.
But these penalties are going to pay dividends at the end. Oh, as Kaiser looks up there into the unnamed hairpin, that's going to give Mr. Kozlowski just a sliver of hope. 6 minutes remaining, this is all or nothing now. Tinnis has kind of dropped off of this unless these top 3 start battling. Just going back to the penalties. Oh, crikey, that's quite... That is going to change up a lot. Oh, no, let's not leave the session. I accidentally just pressed the wrong button, but Mr. Kozlowski went off into the gravel there, so that is handed Jazzman second place. So slow motion ninjas are now top 2, and Tinnis is now playing 3rd. But obviously, Tinnis has got that penalty. He's got a 1 second penalty, but Mr. Kozlowski's got 2, so...
He should be fine.
He should be okay, unless Tinnis pulls a 3 second gap.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for Tinnis right now. Let's see what Tinnis could do in these last 5 minutes, of course. I think it's hard for some of these drivers to find the gap, but with a fast driver like Tinnis, he's captured. But we did see someone looking up one of their tyres there, so that's not going to help matters in the slightest. But I think Cart might be struggling for the last few minutes. That will allow Vetro to possibly gain another position into 6th place. So that's what we definitely would want.
I think, are you there, Jess? I think we just lagged out, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I'm there, sorry.
Just, obviously, those penalties, though, they are still going to really change up the order here. So we really don't know where any of these guys from 6th to 10th are actually going to finish. So they could finish all over the place. As we go up to the top 2, apparently the gap's closing up. Not really much of a difference there. These guys are just going to run away with it now. Jazzman definitely the fastest man on track. But the question is, are these guys going to work together, or are they going to battle it out? That's Evil there, I think, in the background, making his way out, getting out of the way of all the drivers there. He's not going to be too happy with getting lapped, but like I said, it's all a learning process. The field's starting to fan out a bit now, which is kind of unfortunate in the last 4 minutes. We were really hoping we'd get a really titanic battle, but maybe we might be gifted to it by Cart and who was that getting out of the way? That was Leroy. Cart and Big Kid Daddy might cook up a battle with. That was Evil, that going through the camera there.
Oh my goodness, that made me jump.
That kind of gave me a shock there. You know, our camera there has been completely obliterated by Evil Dragon. Thank you, Evil. I very appreciated that.
Yeah, there was a few times last season where the cameras didn't do the right thing right now. I think Evil could kind of help Vetro. Vetro's not that far behind, but he's going to move out the way sooner or later, so it's a danger that he's going to lose time for doing that, which he does move out the way, which is good. He's still having a battle with someone though, even though he's lapped. Oh, Vetro's got in the gravel. That's lost a chance of him getting 7th or even 6th. That's Essa passed, and so is Hart as well. And maybe Schwartz can catch up as well in 9th place, but that is a shame for Vetro. Like we said, the gravel track is not anyone's friend, I think, today in the midfield. I think a lot of people have been caught up in that as well, and yeah, that is a shame, but at least Vetro still has time to defend 8th place. It's still not over yet. We've got...
Yeah, what? Oh no!
God. Oh my god.
That could be a glitch. That's a glitch.
That is definitely a glitch. That's decent.
Unfortunately, what's happened there is these two have got caught together, and that is the net result. This is a bug here. There's nothing these guys can do. They're completely stuck together. They're now free, but that is a glitch. That's down to the game. That's Leroy and Evil stuck together.
It's
like
I said, for everyone, by the look.
That can happen to anybody at any time now. And so it happened to Evil and Vector, and Evil got launched into the sky last time I saw it happen. But that is, unfortunately, a game glitch there. Nothing the drivers can do. It can happen at any time, anywhere. And Danny and Burno are incredibly lucky. None of them got flipped or launched into the sky, because that can just randomly happen. That.
It was a nice clip to put on Twitter, but not good for the drivers, I must say, in real life. I wonder if they would have to go to hospital for that. But yeah. I hope not. But anyway, you said, Ethan, we were going to hope to get a battle. We could have one between Jazzman and Kaiser. Kaiser's lost time.
Certainly has done. A minute and 40 seconds left. There's going to be one more lap after this. So it's all or nothing now. Is Kaiser going to crunch under Jazzman's pressure? Or will Jazzman stay behind and just wait it out and go for the win next time around? It's going to be close, this. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, final lap pretty soon. I mean, you know, they're both pretty much even in pace, and obviously Jazzman, another person who a lot of people said that his race pace was good towards the end of the race, where it wasn't that good on the start, as I think we've seen either Evil or Vetro bin it towards penultimate corner. But enough about that. Let's concentrate on the lead battle. Almost, my Jesus, Kaiser almost went into the gravel track. He just about saved it there. That's probably lost him a bit of time going towards the start-finish straight then. As final lap is starting now. Let's see if Jazzman can find a few attempts into turn one. He's not going to try yet, but even if both of them try for a move now, they're going to get a similar amount of points anyway. If they swap around in the second race, of course, but they'll be starting obviously second to last and last in the next race. So the top 8 will get reversed, of course. So these two drivers driving very, very well, and that's going to work well in the team's championship as well. So I think team orders might come into play, but knowing Jazzman, he's a racer at heart, so he wants to go for the move, as he's going to try to. They've all got the same. I think they've got plenty of fuel to go into, so it should be fine. As I'm just trying to see if there's any other battles going on. I think the only other battle we've got potentially Shorts and Fozzie, but I think that's it for the final. I kind of wish we had more battles, but there we go. As Jazzman, I don't think he's going to get the run on Kaiser, but you never know. We could see a photo finish.
He's lost it.
He's lost it. Oh, he's cut the corner there, and I think there's a warning there, but that's Kaiser then. He's got the win, and he's weaving. I think he's careful, or he doesn't need to slow down. He does. I think Kaiser wins, Jazzman second, and we've got Kelsey in third, and Tinnis in fourth place. Vicky Daddy in fifth, Ezra in sixth place. So, I think the penalty.
Just at the last second, yeah. It's the penalty.
I think he just got the move done pretty well, and the penalties helped him a little bit. So well done to him. And Schultz, I think, didn't have a good race, but he's going to be starting the feature race in pole position at the moment with Cart in second. Now that's going to get interesting into turn one, but we'll have to wait and see. Danny Boy comes across the line in 11th, and he's joining the AOR car park by the looks of things. Then we've got Burno in 12th, we've got Tom in 13th, and we've got the lapped cars of Leroy, Fren and Evil Dragon as well, who's in the tyre barrier. So yeah, a race to forget for some people, but for Kaiser and Jazzman, a race to remember.
Certainly is. Just looking at the penalties. Oh,
wow.
Lord. That's quite a few there. Evil picking up 13 seconds worth, unfortunately. So Evil gets top marks for getting the most penalties in one race. So congratulations there, Evil. But yeah, just going over the official standings for race number 1. For round 1 is the Kaiser, who takes the first win of the season alongside his teammate Jazzman. Mr. Kozowski, an impressive third, starting on pole position. Can he get that elusive win that he needs for the second feature race? Tinnis in 4th. Big Kid Daddy joins his teammate in 5th. Esther in a very, very impressive 6th. Cart in 7th. Schwantz in 8th. Fozzie on his debut in the top 10 in P9. Not bad at all. Vectro in 10th position, going to be kind of disappointed, I think, for him. Danny Boy in 11th, Burno in 12th, Tom G in 13th, Leroy in 14th, Prent in 15th, and Evil rounding out the field and actually did not finish there. So that's kind of disappointing for him.
Yeah, I think he retired on the last lap, I believe, because of either giving up or he got damaged. I'm not entirely sure, but I was hoping we would have all 16 drivers finish, but you know, a bit of a shame now. But he's got the feature race to learn a bit more as well, as I just changed scenes to the main screen, so you don't see the lobby for a second. But wow, that was a close way at the start. It got quiet towards the end, but we have seen the early favourites emerge, and we're seeing a few surprises as well.
Certainly in the case there, we were expecting a very, very close race at the start. It kind of fanned out towards the end, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping it was going to be something through the entire race. Obviously now we've got that 40-minute feature race coming up, which I don't believe has any mandatory pit stops, but obviously, of course,
Nah, I don't think so.
It's entirely possible for all-out carnage to erupt and multiple drivers in the pit lane, but we'll see. Since it's double the length, I can see drivers taking it a little bit more cautiously, and obviously it is a formation start and a rolling start, of course, so it's going to be a completely different kettle of fish going into turn number 1 this time around. They're going to be carrying a lot more speed into it, so it's all going to be down to who gets the jump and all down to the braking.
Yeah, indeed. So just a quick reminder of the points, actually. So both of the races, if you win, you get 50 points. Second, you get 40 points. Third, 32 points. Fourth, 26 points. Fifth, you get 23 points. Sixth, you get 20 points. Seventh, you get 17. Eighth, you get 14 points. Ninth, you get 11. 10th, you get 9, and it's 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then if you finish and if you're in last place, you get 1 point. And also, you get a point if you get the fastest race lap, and also if you get pole position. I did not see who got the fastest race lap there, but maybe a few people were trying to get the fastest race lap at the end. But yeah, so obviously Mr. Kowski has got a point. Obviously, he got pole in qualifying, so that is a point to his name as well, so he gets an extra point as well. But I think probably it'll either be Kaiser or Jazzman that's got the fastest lap, so they'll get the extra point there. Obviously 40 minutes, a different kettle of fish, and obviously they'll take it cautiously like you said, but obviously they got to fit more into a rhythm. The track temperatures might start to drop a little bit, maybe different conditions a little bit as well, so a different race to what we've seen in the sprint race. They can't go guns a-blazing, because otherwise a lot of cars will be dead by a few laps, so they just got to take it more cautiously, I think.
It's certainly the case, Jess. These drivers is a completely different state of mentality now. It was all out carnage and it was a complete death match in the first race. Now it's cool, calm and collected. No funning, it's no time for silly games and getting caught in each other's suspension and having glitches and stuff like that. It's time for, right, okay, this is 40 minutes now. I cannot afford to get any damage, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. Despite having a bit more leeway in time of how long the race is, you might have a bit of time to catch back up. But as you saw, Jess, what it takes is one mistake, and if you lose touch with the pack, that's it. So it seems like the slipstream and the tow is very, very crucial here. So if you fall out of that, you're a sitting duck for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and that's why obviously Kaiser and Jazzman, they worked very well together, obviously in the first race, and that's helped them get the 1-2. And obviously they get maximum points in the team championship, so they'll be leading as well. Some teams falling by the race side a little bit, but they've got a lot of work to do. But hopefully this 40-minute race will improve for them, and we've seen him for the league before, and definitely in the Renault Clio Cup as well that you commentated on. We've seen people that done rubbish in the sprint races but done brilliantly in the feature races, so it's not over for them, of course. There's obviously, we are waiting for obviously the coordinator will need to sort out the grid order so everyone will know what to do.
Which we have actually been given. Jazzman has sorted the grid. We'll also be starting in 1 minute time, but he's put the grid into the group chat. I've got it up now. So obviously, like you said, Jess, Schwantz will be starting in P1, followed up by Kart, Esser in 3rd, Big Kid Daddy in 4th, Tinnis in 5th, Mr. Kozlowski in 6th, Jazzman in 7th, and obviously Kaiser, since he finished 1st, will be starting last in the reverse grid, which is 8th position. Behind him is Fozzie in 9th, Vectro in 10th, Danny Boy in 11th, Bono in 12th, Tom G in 13th, Leroy in 14th, Brain in 15th, and Evil rounding out the grid at the back, which may not be a bad thing being at the back, because for all we know, it could be utter carnage into turn number 1, and Evil may go from last to P1. So if last to P1 challenge, you know, it's all up for grabs here now as we are loading into the session in qualifying.
Yeah, indeed. So not very long.
I don't think it's correct.
Pardon? Sorry?
I don't think we're meant to have a qualifying session.
Ah. So
I don't know.
we might have to restart. I don't know.
Potentially, yeah. I don't think we're meant to have qualifying, unless that's just unless that's always there. But I'm pretty sure.
Esther saw that as well. So it's not just us that are thinking that. So yeah, I think we will have to restart the lobby by the
Yeah, we're in qualifying.
But that's not a problem. They know the grid order. So luckily I haven't moved scenes yet. So hopefully, I don't know who's the host of this lobby.
Jazzman, I believe.
So it's either Jazzman or Big Daddy or Tinnis, but someone has had a flip in the pit lane. Wasn't quite sure what happened
Steve,
there. Yeah, everyone's leaving now, so
yeah.
I think we'll have to leave as well.
Well, here I think we can. Well, we got a bit of time just to, instead of focus on the race, have a little bit of a chat on what's going on in the sim racing community. There's a lot of games coming out, Jess, that I think have caught a lot of attention. I've been disconnected from the multiplayer session even though I left, so that's fun. But there's a lot of games coming out. What's caught your eye in the last few weeks? What's caught your eye that's looking interesting?
Well, obviously, for you Project Cars fans, Project Cars 3 is coming out, which I was quite shocked about. Like, a few weeks ago, obviously I was looking on Twitter and I saw there was a new tweet on Project Cars game Twitter, and suddenly I was like, oh, Project Cars 3, and I was like, what? And it says coming out this summer, and I did have a little bit of disappointment at the start with, but after a few of the developers showing what the cars can do, that I'm actually quite looking forward to it. The game, pretty much, it's got some new cars as well, new tracks. I do believe Interlagos is coming to the game as well, so that's exciting. And I think we have a new category of cars too. I think from what I've heard, the handling's a bit better as well. So hopefully, and also hopefully the stability of the lobbies as well. So we don't know the date of the new game coming out, but I'm hoping it's going to be very, very soon. But not too soon, so we've got a GT3 lead to run, but it said summer. But yeah, what were your thoughts originally, and what are your thoughts now, Ethan?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I was literally in a party with Evil, just having some fun, and I looked down at my phone and it said Project Cars 3 reveal trailer, and I just went absolutely ballistic. I was jumping in and out of my play seat, going absolutely nuts. The kind of first parts of the trailer kind of reminded me of Drive Club. It's obviously they've taken a completely different approach, which, may I say, caused a lot of diversity in the Project Cars community, and I can understand why. Obviously, we're much more used to this kind of like simulation, because obviously Project Cars is an acronym for Community Assisted Racing Simulation, I believe is the acronym for it, and everyone was a bit panicky thinking the game was an arcade. I've got to say the gameplay kind of put me off a little bit, but after seeing some of the tweets from Ian Bell, Nathan Bell, and some of the gameplay, I'm feeling a lot more confident in what they've got, and it's definitely got that more Gran Turismo vibe, you know, being able to buy a car, build it into a race car. I'm really into that type of stuff, but seeing the new like Corvette C8R, like that is in no other game as far as I'm aware. That is the first time that car's debuted in a game, and it's on Project Cars 3, which is even more brilliant. New tracks like Interlagos. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Obviously, they're keeping a little bit quiet, but they are giving some good information, some good indicators of what the game's going to be like. But the proof's in the pudding. We're going to have to wait until see until it comes out, but that's anywhere between, I reckon, July and start of September.
Yeah, we've got a lot of games coming out this summer. I think a lot of people are going to probably be broke by the end of it, because obviously we've got Project Cars 3. We've got the new F1 game as well coming out 7th, 10th July. We also got ACC as well, which I'm gutted they don't do private lobbies, but we won't dwell on too much about that. But yeah, this is not ACC, this is Project Cars. But yeah, I'm gutted. I was going to get the game actually, but due to the fact they don't have private lobbies on PS4. I'm probably going to have to put that on hold until obviously they start doing that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, but that was the game I was probably going to prioritise over Project Cars 3, but I think I'll probably have to do the other way around now, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. So
yeah, ACC was kind of, obviously, we're on old gen of consoles, so you can't expect, amazing graphics, all that type of stuff, but FPS isn't so much of an issue. But in the sim racing community, being able to league race and set private lobbies to practice with your friends, that's a major component in the community, and not having that is a major blow for ACC. Obviously, we don't want to ramble on too much about it, but it is kind of slightly disappointment. But that's the way things are. But instead of rambling on about ACC, I've been invited to the session, and we're going to get cracking very shortly.
Yep, indeed, and I'm also in the session as well. I think I've been in the session for like a few minutes now. I think it's the right session that I'm meant to be on, so that is good news as well. And one interesting little fact here, and one of the AOR members is actually working at Project Cars now, so we're kind of getting some cheeky things from him, but probably
maybe slip him a £10 and we might find some more stuff.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Fernando's actually our social media manager, is actually working in a Slightly Mad team now in Project Cars 3. He's actually the social media manager there as well, so fair play to him. And he's been working in AOR for like pretty much a year, 2 years now, and to get a job that he dreams of like since forever, it's brilliant. So and the game that most of us love anyway. I hope he gets it, has a good time, and obviously he had to deal with a backlash at the beginning, but fair play, he's done it really well, and it's good to see, obviously, and we also may see in the future, obviously, real sim racers may become real life racing drivers, obviously, as well, just like people getting the jobs they dreamed of as they were a kid as well, like obviously Archel took part in the motorsport games as well, like James Baldwin I think is doing a bit of real life.
Fastest game mode, yeah,
he's doing a bit of real life. I do believe it starts in August now or July, I can't remember now, the GT endurance series with his Jensen Button team, which I love. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to that, and I hope he does well. I will be supporting his team, and I think there's some other teams I quite like as well, and I hope you do watch him because obviously he's a really quick driver. And obviously the Mon Virtual that took place, I think, was it last? Yeah, it was last week.
Literally last week, yeah.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was absolutely fantastic. The broadcasting was brilliant, and the commentary. They even got the voice of Le Mans actually commentating on virtual sim racing in virtual Le Mans. That was just amazing. Obviously, there's no Le Mans without him, and he's commentating again in September as well for the real life one. So you get double the fun, really. So honestly, I'm excited. Also, we've got iRacing Le Mans on Saturday as well. There's just so much going on in the sim racing world at the moment. I mean, and a lot of opportunities that a lot of drivers are getting. I mean, it's just a step in the right direction for these guys as well, getting a lot of opportunities as well. I wonder if any of these guys who are racing right now might get these opportunities in the future. You never know. If they're famous in the future, call me. Joking.
Honestly, you make a good point there, Jess. It just really just shows, without sim racing, half of the things that have gone on in the last month would never have taken place. The Formula E Race at Home Challenge, what was it? A sim racing driver in Formula E won a race, and he's won a prize on driving the Formula E Gen 2 car. Without sim racing, half of the stuff that has gone on would not have taken place. Like sim racing, usually gets bashed for, oh, it's just a game, it's just this and that. These drivers, they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. I speak from a personal perspective. I put in quite a bit of effort to, just set up a car. It's not easy going for some of this, and it does take just about as much effort as it would at the real thing, And honestly, that virtual Le Mans, that is the biggest highlight for sim racing. That probably one of the biggest sim racing events yet. R-Factor 2 had some server issues, but still getting that event going and finishing it, that is a major feat for sim racing. And honestly, it's kind of a shame that it's only going to be a one-time thing, but
the iRacing one as well, but it's not exactly as popular. But it's still popular, but it's not going to be broadcasted on TV, but you know, and it was a big race, a big weekend for Williams as well. They pretty much last weekend, I think, won all 3 races. They won Virtual Le Mans, then they won the Pro Exhibition race, and then they won the constructors as well, and the drivers, and the race win as well in Canada with George Russell. I mean, you know, with a team that are about to get underway, but with a team that's obviously had troubled times in real life, it's great that they're getting some sort of glory in the sim racing world anyway. To once a team that's scored championships in real life, hopefully they'll do that in the future again. But yeah, it's just great to see. I was very happy that Rebellion Williams Esports did well in the Virtual Le Mans. It was a great start, and obviously one of our teammates actually won in the exhibition race as well, which was great to see as well, and I was very happy as well about that.
Indeed. But here we are on the grid, finally, after that short delay. Obviously, we got to get into the original grid formation. They'll do that by themselves after the 5 red lights have gone out. They'll wait for 5 seconds, then they'll start dispersing and doing their own thing. Hopefully nobody will get caught up with each other, and they'll slowly make their way into their correct positions. Only 26 litres.
One driver I think we're missing is Tinnis. I think Tinnis has either had connection issues or maybe power problems. I don't know, because there's a few storms going at the moment. I don't know.
There is a lot of bad weather going on in the world. He actually sent a image in. Oh, here we go. He sent an image into the PlayStation group chat showing a weather chart, and literally where he was, it is just a horrible cloud of bad weather, basically. But obviously the lights go out, the drivers sit there for 5 seconds, then they'll start moving. But unfortunately, Tinnis is not going to make this grid, and we are not going to restart, unfortunately, not for one driver. Unless we have a mass disconnection, we may get a rerun potentially. But
don't jinx it, Ethan.
Wow, with the weather that's going on, I don't think it's in the realms of possibility.
Yeah, it's quite humid where I am here in the southwest of England. Quite hot. It's getting quite hot now, but luckily I think we had a massive, I think it was raining really hard this afternoon as well. As I think everyone has formed into their grid slot, so good news. And Tin has just joined as well. I think he just missed the cut.
Not too late there, Jazzman.
Oh, Jazzman. If we waited 2 more minutes, he could have come in. But obviously, there's some Europeans there that will be gone like 11 o'clock maybe before they finish, so we can't really hold it on that long, of course. So that's a shame, but obviously Tinnis will join next week. He got some good points in the first race, so it's not going to be that down on points, but he's going to be at a disadvantage compared to the top 2. But yeah, we are about to start the race pretty soon, as they are about to get into close formation as Schwartz is going to lead the field away. And let's see if he can floor the start and get a good start. Obviously, Jasko got a good start in one of the feature races. I think it was the second feature race. I believe. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Zuhai. No, it wasn't Zuhai. I can't remember which one it was, but he did well in that. So let's see if Schwartz gets a good start here.
2x2 formation. Obviously, we don't want what Fred and Burno did, and guys locking wheels. That would be very unfortunate, but the guys are keeping it well apart, which is good to see. They're now in their 2x2 formation, coming through the final corner. Who's it going to be off the start, Schwantz or Kart? Schwantz is definitely going to get the jump, being the person who's controlling the pace. As they are, come on, cameras, move this far. This is a bit of a,
come on.
It's a bit of an, there we go. And Schwantz is going. We are underway. As I said, gets the jump. Already got a big gap there, so he's not going to be under any pressure at all. He does cover that inside line just in case. You see Kart move back over to the right. Into turn 1 we go. Or is there any drivers overcooking it into there? No, we are all good through turn number 2 and 1. As I say that, it looks like Essa may have just gone off the track potential. Is that Fozzie? That is Fozzie, my bad. Oh, and there goes someone actually shooting off the road.
Yeah, I didn't see who that was. It's
I
hard
think
to tell on the track
again.
map.
It's Fozzie or Essa. It's Essa.
Oh my goodness!
Lord. And back straight into the track. Oh no!
Yeah, that was a huge pile-up. Oh my goodness! Yeah, quite a few people got involved in that, and it just goes to show, don't wait until the cars go past before you rejoin that. Otherwise, incidents like that happen. So I think Leroy got caught in that, and Fozzie too. So that is, Leroy was getting unlucky, and Essence dropped down as well in 7th. But look at Jazzman, already up into 5th. Big Kid Daddy in 3rd, and Kowalski up into 4th. That's amazing. I mean, a few people taking the starts really well. I think we've got the 2 teammates, Jazzman and Kaiser. They're working together to try and get past 4th place at the moment.
The lap before an incident happened. It didn't happen in the first race, which is kind of unfortunate there. But we are going ahead anyways. Leroy in the pits, unfortunately, again, but obviously right at the start of the race, so he may not lose out too much there. Is Kaiser actually going defensive against his teammate there? Into, I've already forgotten the name for that turn. Is it? I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But we are line astern for it. Just a tiny bit of lag there from Jazzman. It's kind of twitching out. Can be quite kind of distracting and kind of off-putting as well. You don't actually know where his car's going to end up, but line astern through Shell Curve. Once again, just a white snake on the track map. Hoping nobody's going to get caught out, but Fozzie and Leroy both in the pits. There's up ahead, Big Kid Daddy and Mr. Kozlowski are going side to side, and it's Big Kid Daddy who gets... Oh, who is that? I think that's Jazzman. Or is it Jazzman or Kite? It's Jazzman launching it up the inside of Mr. Kozlowski. Yeah, he was coming from absolutely miles away, and he's made it stick, to be fair to him. Can he get the run down the line? No, Mr. Kozlowski's not having him let him get by. Can he outbrake Jazzman into turn number 1? Oh, they're side by side. I think Jazzman's conceded there. He certainly does. So I don't want to be going side by side through there, not unless you're fully alongside or ahead. But Mr. Kozlowski does a good job of holding that battle off there. Still lying astern though between some of these drivers.
Fair play, of course. Obviously, the big movers of the league so far that are showing the pace out of everybody, to be honest, is Kozlowski is going, probably going to go side by side with Big Kid Daddy. A bit of a swerve from Big Kid Daddy there. He's struggling a bit on the power as well. Obviously, Vetro's, I do believe Vetro, I need to double check where Vetro started actually. Vetro started, I think, 10th or 11th.
There's contact! Oh, there's multiple cars caught up there. I didn't want to interrupt you there because you were obviously going through the stuff.
But Big
Kid Daddy's lost his engine cover. That is a load of damage there, but literally just got caught up. I think Jazzman's been caught in that as well. It was Jazzman or Kaiser, Big Kid Daddy.
Kaiser. Jazzman's in 4th.
Yeah, you are correct there. It is Kaiser who's taken a big hit, and Big Kid Daddy is not. He doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's carry on. Let's wait. Let's go. He's shaved off.
Done that. Oh my god.
But Big Kid Daddy shaved off some weight and he's carrying on. He might not even have any damage potentially. That could be on our end. It could be lag. Oh, boy. That's a lot of cars there.
Oh my goodness. They're going in as for a sprint race, for goodness sake. Come on, it's 30, like literally 40-minute sprint race. It's got to be feature race. We've got to be a lot careful than that. A few people gaining from this as well as I think a few people got getting damaged and still powering on, of course. There's Evil Dragon trying to go for a move on, I think it's Leroy.
Tom G,
there we go. Not Big Kid Daddy, because obviously Big Kid Daddy's had damage, but yeah, Evil Dragon, I'm not going to say much about him, because the last time I said he was doing well, something happened, so I'm not going to say anything more, but he's getting a little four-field of the car at least, and he's going to try and send it up one towards the final corner, but we got Tonga to try for the move. Luckily, Evil avoided the grapple trap. Oh,
he's overcooked it.
And he spun.
Oh, yeah, he completely overcooked it there. Way too late on the brake. He's been kind of struggling to get this car slowed down, picking a point of reference, which is where obviously it's a certain area or certain object you use to know when you want to brake. And Evil, that's something he's been struggling to pick up, and it's cost him dearly there. Back of Tom G, it was. I almost forgot who that was. That's bad of me.
Yeah, it was Tom G. It was Tom G.
And just completely lost the rear under braking. I think he may have even locked up potentially, but yeah, he was not getting that car slowed down. Unfortunately, he may have picked up some front end damage and spun round there. So kind of disappointing. On board with Kaiser, he is falling behind Vectro. So Vectro's gained a few positions, I believe. We've missed Kaiser go off somewhere.
I think Kaiser was involved in that damage, and obviously he dropped down a few positions that way.
Actually, a good point there, yeah.
Yeah,
might be...
because he got caught up in that massive pile-up, so that's why he's lower down the field compared to everyone and his teammate Jazzman, who's in 4th place. I don't think Vetro's catching up to Jazzman as much as he would have liked, but Jazzman almost certainly catching up to his rivals, as we've got side-by-side action with Hart and Browski as well. This is going to be intense. They go through turn number 1, almost hitting the tyre barrier, but luckily I think Jazzman's going to hold a better line by the looks of it into turn 2 and 3. Can he make the move stick? Yes, I think he's got past Car at least. And now his next victim is Browski in 2nd. He's doing very well, and he obviously started 7th, and he's now in 3rd. So he's doing a really good job in these feature races. He's always does well in these types of races in the filler leagues, at least anyway. So a man to watch out for the rest of the race.
So in the case with half an hour to go, if this is anybody's game again, Jazzman kind of clipping that curve, almost sent the car into a tank slapper there. Once you lose this car's rear, it's very hard to gain back, because the body roll and the chassis roll is very easy just to flick it one way and the car will dart in the other direction, but Jazzman, a very experienced driver, holds onto it. And once again, another big gaggle of cars here. Kind of 2 separate groups, so you got this top group here from about up to 6th, and a few cars down. We've got Danny Boy, Essa, and Pren, all that. Tom G not too far behind these guys either, so he's going to latch onto the back of these guys soon, hopefully, and that will be a 4-way battle.
I think Tom G didn't get any damage for now.
Oh
Someone's
no, in fact...
up. Oh, that's Lee
Ooh.
Boy and Danny Boy that got involved, and Esther as well at the background too. That's going to allow Big Kid Daddy to get past. Somehow Big Kid Daddy, I don't think it's got any other damage apart from this engine. That's crazy. He's still going by the looks of things. He's on for another lap too.
Is that off in the gravel trap? I think that's Evil Dragon, you know.
Yeah. Oh no, it might be Vetro. Vetro down in 8th.
Oh, that actually, you might be correct there, Jess. No, it's a blue car. I can't find out who it is.
Because Vetro was in 5th.
Is it
now
Evil?
He's in 13th.
Oh, it is Vectro. No, something may have happened to... Okay, this is very strange. I don't know why Vectro's just sitting there. Well, he's gone going again.
Or is he waiting for other cars, maybe?
Is this the controller? That could be a controller issue. He's stuck in 4th position, 4th gear. Okay, this is very strange. He may have a person. This might be an emergency potentially. We don't know what's going on, but this could be a retirement on the way potentially. But we'll move on to another car in his Big Kid Daddy without his engine cover. Going 60 stars. There goes Vectro.
Yeah,
so nothing's happened there. We'll probably find out later. But Big Kid Daddy with his shaved weight is going for moves. Is this legal? Can this be legal? He shaved off his engine cover. He's gained
he's
gained less weight, and he's gone and gained a position. Big Kid Daddy,
bravo,
without his engine cover, is shifting through the field.
I've got to say, I mean, I thought it was a massive shun earlier, but I don't know how he's doing it. He's losing a bit of time. 1:11.6 for Big Kid Daddy. He's matching Schwartz and Jazzman and Karts and Kaiser, all in the 1:11s as well, and obviously Leroy and Fogg in the 1:11s too. I just don't know what to say. I think he's an alien in waiting, and yeah.
There goes Vector leaving the session. Not technically meant to do that.
No, technically you're not, but if he had an emergency or his controllers, I think it may be an emergency, because otherwise he can't have left the session like that, but unless he turned off his PS4, but we don't know. But yeah, a shame. We lost one driver in this session as well, and that leaves, I think, Evil's on his own as well. We've got the 2 teammates fighting again of Kowalski, and we've got and Vetro. Yeah, I think it might be a controller issue, but I'm not entirely sure.
Something strange there's happened. I think it might be an equipment issue. There's a lock-up there. So we've got 2 different teams racing here. We've got Mr. Kozlowski and Kart. Tinnis isn't even racing. Jazzman and Kaiser, as that is Kart, I believe. No, it's Mr. Kozlowski going off the track there. So now Jazzman is the filler in between these 2 cars here. But they've all... Oh no, Mr. Kozlowski slightly losing it there, but hold on to that. Very well indeed. This is 27 minutes ago. These guys are treating it almost like it is a sprint race. They're treating it the opposite way around.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Oh my
Jazzman touches the front of Mr. Kozlowski there, and I've got to say there, Jess, that is a slam dunk there. Jazzman, this is something that's happened before, where he's clipped another car, and it's been lag, and he hasn't waited up. Something that's happened to me before. This could be lag, and it hasn't touched him on his screen, but Mr. Kozlowski's been punted round, so
Jazzman hasn't got any damage from that. So yeah, I think it may be.
Could be lag.
Yeah, I think it will be. But don't forget, some of these guys are facing massive storms right now, so it may be that.
Exactly. Could just be lag.
The teammate's fighting again, as I think we've got car up and dropped down to 7th now. And
I think both of these guys got collected by Jazzman punting Mr. Kozlowski off.
I think they're losing so much time now because they weren't in the 111s. Now bring both of them in the 125. Obviously they spun. Obviously we won't know well enough what their lap times is until a few laps time. So as Kozlowski has gone into the gravel trap almost, and I think he's clipped the curb a little bit there. I think he's not enjoying this car at the moment. I think he's definitely got damage, because otherwise he won't be going into the grass like that if he hasn't got damage. So he may go into no, he's not going to the pit, so he's staying out, but he's not finding the car too easy to drive. We'll see what his lap time is this lap then. As Kart goes into the pits, no Kart's got damage.
Could be damage. That would be damage, definitely.
But Kozlowski 113.2. As Big Kid Daddy is coming again. Oh my goodness.
I think he's defending here. Looks like to be defending.
Well, actually could be lap actually. It's Leroy. Might be Leroy.
There's Tom G. These guys are battling for position. Okay. Yeah, they are battling for position. Big Kid Daddy with his without his engine cover, managing to hold on to there. So our engine cover doing some good jobs there. Well, not actually having it. He's managing to hold on to position. Despite what's going on here, Prem, in the wake of the absolute massacres that are going on, has put himself up into P3, and he's all by his lonesome, but he has got a rampant Kaiser behind him.
Yep, indeed. Obviously, Kaiser's been in the 111s before, Pren hasn't, but they've got more fuel, and people in the 111s for this race trim is absolutely amazing. It's a fair play, but Pren, it just goes to show, in these types of penalties, if you keep it clean and have no damage, and if everyone else gets involved in damage behind you or in front of you and you avoid it, then you gain dividends due to that result, and you can get some decent point out of this, and especially in this top tier league, I think he's going to be very happy with that. Berno gaining quite a lot as well in 5th place as well, and some of these guys are going to join. Schwartz is still holding on to 1st place, which I'm impressed with as well. The top 2 are just running away with it now. Jazzman, he's up into 2nd. He's 3 seconds behind, but the top 2 are just having a pace their own. As Berno, I believe, is having a battle with, I think, Kozlowski. There we go. Kozlowski staying for P5 as Kozlowski is trying to catch up.
So of course, yeah, Mr. Kozlowski, after being punted around potentially by Jazzman, which could be under investigation, looking to climb back up the field, but he does have a penalty. Just going to find out what these penalties are. Well, Berno has 1 second, Mr. Kozlowski 2, Big Kid Daddy 1, so the penalties much less strict, which is good to see. So the penalty's not as strict this time around. Obviously Schwantz, look at that, 3.8 seconds. He ain't exactly pulling away, but he's maintaining that gap. What he just needs to do is not make a mistake and just hold that gap, really, and not get any penalties. But here's Mr. Kozlowski lining up a move on Berno on the inside. Can he outbrake him? Looks like he's done so. There we go. Textbook move there. Gets the move done. Straight into the apex. Holds the inside line. And that's his teammate, actually. Is that his teammate going off there?
Yeah, it was Kart that's gone off into the gravel trap again.
He's been lapped.
So he's now down. Oh, he's down into 12th now.
So obviously he pitted, didn't he? So he's now a lap down, unfortunately. And to be honest, I don't think he's going to get that lap back.
Nope, he's not, because everyone else is between, I think, because everyone else is lapping in the 112, 13, 14s, whereas it's going to be hard to find so many, unless the cars around you are slower, which for most of these cases they're not, it's going to be really hard. As
Jazzman
Jazzman's in the
comes
pit,
in.
so
He made a mistake.
I don't know, to be honest.
Because those gaps have just dramatically increased. Have you noticed? It was like 3 seconds. It's now 12.
Yeah, he must have got damage. Oh, I can see a bit of visual damage, I'm not sure. It may be from the top earlier.
It was literally 4 seconds just a lap ago, and now the gap has just dramatically increased.
Yeah, I think.
Are we definitely sure there's no
someone else
nice
in the
pit
pits
stop?
too.
There's Cart again. Has there been another coming together with Jazzman and Cart?
Because Cart was no, or maybe because Cart was a lap down. Don't forget. And obviously Jazzman was in second. We don't know, to be honest, Ethan. I don't know. Hopefully we may get PFVs of that incident, but I'm almost certain it's damage because obviously there's no mandatory pit stop in this feature race. So I think they'll just have to wait a little bit. But the one advantage, they'll have benefit of fuel at least. But that's going to be a long time in the coming. And
but there goes Jazzman.
I don't think it's much damage as we would have thought, Jazzman. I think he was just losing so much time and it wouldn't hurt. Or maybe he may be pitting for possibly get fastest lap, maybe. I don't know, but it's 20 minutes to go though. But
I honestly don't think he's put himself in a good position there. It must have been damaged. There's no other possible explanation.
Down 11th as well.
Yeah, and I think he's under attack from a lapped car. Is that Schwantz? That could be Schwantz.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness, it is!
He's been lapped already. Jazzman's been lapped already.
So Jazzman has definitely had another coming together there. There's no question about it. And I've got to say, that's race over now. The question is Jazzman going to battle Schwantz to get that lap back? Because this could really, really, really unfold now. If these guys come together and if Jazzman has been collecting other cars through lag and decides to go for a move if he thinks he's faster, this could really topple the tables here and could really show up Schwantz's race here unless Schwantz is capable of pulling away. But Jazzman's well within that slipstream and I dare say it maybe just that slightly bit faster.
Yeah, it looks like it. Jazzman's going to go for the move. It's going to be a bit risky, especially he's got a bit of lag at the moment, but yeah, Schwantz is a little bit faster than Jazzman, but let's see, Jazzman is going to go for the risk. He's going to go for the move in turn number 1. Let's hope he doesn't tap people this time. I think he concedes the position, which he does, which is fair play to him. Because he doesn't want to get involved in many more incidents, I must say, because otherwise penalties will be coming his way, but he could have a go again. I'm not going to try pronouncing the corner names because I'm probably going to butcher them, so I'm just going to call it turn numbers. So yeah, I think it's race over, but you get a point for fastest lap still. So if Jazzman gets fastest lap of this race, he'll get an extra point, obviously. So it's still that to fight for. You'll still get an extra point there, but yeah, as long as he finishes, of course, you don't get a point for finishing. So still got some time to lose, but Fren is in second now due to this. And oh my goodness, he's tapped again.
Mr. Kozlowski punting the the right rear of the Kaiser. That was Kaiser.
Was it Kaiser?
Yeah, that was Kaiser.
Word.
And has now been demoted to 6th, and I think has damage. Yeah, that's that's broken suspension. That is broken suspension. Oh dear, that is race over there, and it was literally the smallest of taps, but the smallest of taps do the greatest bit of damage. And oh my lord, that is what? That is a lot of damage. I don't even. Nah, that's definitely not. I've never had a puncture in Project Cars, but that is a lot of damage. That might be 60 plus suspension damage on that right rear there.
That looks awful. He's finding it hard.
It was the slightest of taps as well, and look at what it's done. Now, was Mr. Kozlowski alongside? He may have been. Did Kaiser close the door? May have done, but we're never going to know really due to that camera angle. But I guess we'll find out if it's taken to the street. So a lot of incidents going on, but the slow motion ninjas, despite getting a 1-2 in the first race, have completely it's gone completely downhill for him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that, but it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. And I think most of these guys are treating it as if it's a sprint race. It's like the Formula Renault second race. We're seeing exactly the same, where they're just going for 2 risky moves. You can't do that at this type of race. You've got to you've got to play the long game really, and that's what some of these guys are not doing. But it's benefiting the drivers that are trying to stay cautious. The ones that are slower are actually the ones that are benefiting because they're not getting as damaged. Danny Boy's up into 7th, Essa Racing up into 8th place, even though Essa got caught up in damage later on. Evil Dragon, if he stays as he is, he's up into 9th place. So, you know, that is impressive for him so far. He's had a few spins, but, oh, as he's clicked the curb there, I swear, I should not talk about him again. I seem to curse him.
Yeah, you have certainly well and
Oh
true.
my goodness.
I want to try and refrain my laughter. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, a commentator cursing another commentator.
Thankfully, he has got quite a big
gap.
He has got quite a bit of a gap to Jazzman, who is still behind Schwantz there. But I've got to say, your point is proven, Jess. The top 4 are made up of drivers who you would not consider potentially winning. There goes Jazzman. Is he lining up that move to pass Schwantz? He's just kind of sitting there. And personally, I would just get it done and dusted. You don't want what Max Verstappen had at Brazil. In fact, there goes Jazzman to make the move. You don't want to just leave it, just pop out of nowhere and just completely wipe a leader of the race out. So he does get that move done finally, and will obviously, hopefully, pull ahead unless he makes a mistake. Pren and Mr. Kozlowski battling for 2nd position. Obviously, these two guys do have penalties, and it's Mr. Kozlowski who has the majority of penalties, 1 second more. But I don't think that's going to prevent the racing from being any more different. In fact, I think
Frank going to go for the move. He's got a tighter line for Kozlowski. No taps, please, otherwise it could end up in a massive jump. But it doesn't look like it. And Kozlowski, I think, is holding on to the move there, and he's still got P3, but P2. I mean, that's close. I mean, still good racing, but I think he's got to be careful now for the last 15 minutes. He can't be involved in any more incidents now, because otherwise he's going to get a lot of post-race penalties if he keeps it up. But he's got 15 minutes left, so plenty of time just to keep it clean for these guys now. No more mistakes, please.
In your case, I found out what happened to Vectro. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail of what happened, but it was some sort of health condition. I'm not going to say what it is, but it did cause an issue.
Yeah. I know why. I know what
and
it is.
he took the necessary actions and dealt with it accordingly and put it in the gravel in a safe position. So fair play to Vectro doing what he needs to do, but under the current circumstances, I can't blame him for leaving the session, because from what he's given, it's not really in his control by the looks of it. So
that is a shame for Vectro, but he's done the right thing. You don't want to race if you're having those personal things and issues, and that's the best thing to do, of course. But surely that he's left the session due to that reason. I don't think he'll be penalised for it. If it's a valid reason why he left, then fair dues. So yeah. Hopefully Vectro is well enough for next week, I've got to say. But yeah, from what I've heard, that's awful really. But bad timing for a race really. And Big Kid Daddy is still going in 5th place and chasing down 4th place as well. I don't know how he's doing this, to be honest, but I think it may just be a visual glitch by the spectator glitch by the sound of it, because he's still lapping in the 112s. So
wow,
that's insane.
What he's going to do now, if he wants 4th, he's got to get past Burno, and it looks like he's doing so. So here we go. We're going down the front straightaway. He pulls alongside, and now he's ahead going into turn number 1. Does he outbrake himself? No, he's not making such a mistake, and another textbook move there into turn number 1. Don't think Burno was going to fight that much. I think Burno is just happy with P5 overall, to be fair. But Big Kid Daddy, despite getting collected up in that incident with I think it was Jazzman and Mr. Kozlowski, potentially whoever it was at the start of the race, has now made his way back up the field into P4. So fair play to Big Kid Daddy. That is an absurd. Oh wow, look at
how is he doing
Burno sending it into turn number 5, I believe. But yeah, Big Kid Daddy, a very, very strong showing here, despite what happened.
Yeah, I can't remember where he finished in the first one, but he's all going to get some good points nonetheless. Mr. Consistent, I think he's going to carry on being Mr. Consistent, even if he's got an engine cover lost, to be honest. I think, looking at the parts, I think there's nothing that's been gone off. I think it's still wired correctly. It's just the cover of it's been taken off. I think that's why he's still going. So yeah, he's got to be careful he doesn't get any more visual damage, because otherwise that is going to completely go. But yeah, I think there's no any other battles going. So Essence chasing Danny for P7. I mean, he's doing quite well in 8th place. He was worried about his pace originally, but he's lapping in the 112, which is what you expect to be at this stage. And you know, I think he'll be pleased with that. He's got a P6 in the first race. He's got a P8 in the second race. It's going to be more than what some other cars are going to get, that's for sure. And he's not going to be last in the standings for once. I'm sure he'll take that.
I think half of them are going to be vitally impressed, because it's the fast drivers who have wiped themselves out in this race, and it's allowed some dark horses to really come through. But Mr. Kozlowski, can he catch Schwantz in these dying moments of the race? So he's got 10 minutes, but I think he needs to be lapping a second a lap faster to catch Schwantz, because these guys are so evenly matched. I mean, there's Schwantz, he's going for turn number 2, and Mr. Kozlowski's just coming down the front straightaway. So these guys, we could be seeing a battle for first place in the dying moments of the race, potentially, but I just can't see it happening, not unless Pren has something to do with it, because he's not too far off Mr. Kozlowski either. I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Kozlowski with the bigger penalty, and it certainly is.
Yeah, it is.
So, if Pren gets within 1 second of Mr. Kozlowski, Pren will have second place for himself.
And that'll be a good result for him, considering that he wasn't expecting to get into Tier 1. And for most of these guys, I think they're just having a lot of fun, really, and learning a lot being in this league. And probably you're learning a lot from staying out of trouble, and that's what most of these guys are doing right now. So running for your order, I think Evil has dropped down to 10th. Jazzman, I think, got past Evil Dragon. So Jazzman is catching like a rain of knots at the moment at everybody else. I mean, he's from 12th to 9th in a space of a few laps. So shows how fast he is, and he's going for the fastest lap point, of course. And he's going to chase down, I think he's got to find 30 seconds in 9 minutes, which is going to be hard. But if the other guys are getting slower, then it's going to be tough. But Evil might have had a little bit of an off, which may have caused Jazzman to gain a position, because he's in the 117s, but well, he was in the 114s before. But we'll never know anyway. But yeah, we've got Schwartz in first, Kozlowski in second, Pren in fourth, and Big Kid Daddy still holding into 4th place. And we've got 5th place as well. 6th is Tom, and we've got Danny Boy in 7th. Not as close to the first race, but I think these guys have just got to avoid the gravel, and then they should be fine for where they are. But we've seen surprises I've seen in Phillies at the end of the races. We don't want to see bad surprises, but most of these guys keeping on the track now.
And they are, but not a lot of battles going on, really. I mean, it looks like they're close, but they're only just within just a second, really. Big Kid Daddy all out there by himself in 4th place. Pren and Mr. Kozlowski have kind of split apart a little bit, and then they kind of kept. Oh well, they ain't going to be getting back together anytime soon. Not if Pren keeps that up. He nearly looped that car around there.
Did
8 minutes to go. If he's not too careful, Big Kid Daddy will catch him. But there's 2 lapped cars in between Big Kid Daddy and Pren there. Further down the field, Essa and Danny Boy within a second of each other there. Those guys don't have any penalties. Jazzman in 9th. Evil in 10th. So this is a good shame for Evil, despite a few spins and some, well, definitely a spin that lap, 127. So not a good chain of laps there. Evil were in 12th, Fozzie and Kart in the back of the field there, and then completely apart. So a few battles going on, and that's Pren. That is Pren who's, but yeah, he has certainly lost it. I think he's lost it on the curb out of the exit of turn 3, and that hands Big Kid Daddy third position.
So,
wow, that's amazing.
As well.
Yeah, certainly goes off there. It almost cuts the front of Big Kid Daddy off there, so Big Kid Daddy wouldn't have had a front piece of bodywork there, and it would have been a complete bare chassis. As Evil Dragon again loses it. Something's up here. I just don't think he's quite getting used to the wheel yet. I think he's got a bit more learning to do that. Kind of caught the curb there. Lost the rear end and just completely looped it around. So he's got a lot of practice to do. He even admitted so in the group chat, which is not a bad thing to do. There's nothing wrong with being open. But like I said in the first race, for Evil, it's just all about having fun and learning at the same time. But despite that spin, oh, in fact, he goes into the pit.
He's got damage. I'm sure he's got damage, I think.
That's damage, and I dare say it may lose 10th position to Kaiser. I think he might even lose quite a few positions here.
I think he'll probably go
3 positions.
Yeah. Oh, he's out. He's out the race.
Oh, that's a shame there. Evil Dragon out. Might be potentially an equipment issue. Or just kind of fed up at the point. Yeah, which is kind of a shame to see, but you know,
at least he retired in the pit lane.
He's given it a shot.
He retired in the pit lane. He hasn't retired on track.
Exactly, but he's giving it his best shot. Yeah, he's giving it a good shot, but just kind of not there at the moment. But we'll draw our attention to some other cars. As Vectra leaves the session again, it's Berno and Prem.
Sure.
Berno and Prem, the two teammates are battling Jess in with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Oh, these guys!
Almost a tap
this is
there.
incredibly close.
Oh my God! Please do not collide at some point. We don't want more people getting damaged, but you know, Prem going off a bit is helping his teammate to start to catch up a little bit, and obviously he's down in 5th at the moment, but Tom may snatch 5th from him. Is he gonna? He's gaining quite a bit on his teammate actually. No.
A bit of lag there from Berno. I think that might just be.
Berno, not Tom. Oh my goodness, I'm still getting used to the liveries at the moment.
That's more is apparently for Tom, not Tom, Danny in the race directory chat there. Oh, they're gonna come. Oh, the two teammates kind of come together there. Pren I think Berno slightly lost it there. Pren came in like a rocket and then had to jam on the brakes, turn left to avoid it, and over-rotated the car just to avoid his teammate. And kind of unfortunately, that battle has been broken apart, but I think for the good there, because that could have been an almighty accident between those two guys. Despite them slightly coming together, I think that's more a treat than disaster there, because that could have been a whole lot worse, that.
Yeah, it could have been. They're still quite close, 2 seconds, but Leroy, I think the bottom 3 is still going, which is fair play, and they're still getting a good pace into 112 as well, so you never know, they may pick up an extra point sooner or later as well. 4 minutes and 46 seconds left to go, and Schultz in the lead. He hasn't looked back, to be honest. He started on pole in the reverse grid, and he's still hanging there, 9 seconds already, and to be honest, starting on pole in this feature race, I think has probably benefited more than not. I think the tactic there by going into 8th place, I think, has probably benefited more than hindered him at the moment, as he's 9 seconds clear of Kozlowski, who got a second or third in the. I think Kozlowski is going to get the lead in the championship, I believe.
I think Mr. Kozlowski definitely in a good position here. Obviously, he's going to want that win, but 2nd place still, it's not bad.
Considering
Certainly
Jazman and the Kites are down in 9th and 10th. So
exactly, yes.
So,
obviously the points haul is going to be massive as well. You know, like 40 points for 2nd place. The points haul is going to be huge. Some drivers are already going to be in the triple digits already. So you're really going to see some massive points towards the end of the season. Not a huge fan on the point system for this season. It was used in GT3 last season. I dare say it did create a lot of big gaps, but the point system for this season is designed to be consistent throughout the field. Apparently, it's meant to be rewarding for drivers who finish consistently at the top. And well, Schwantz Mr. Kozlowski is certainly going to get that reward with 50 and 40 points to their name for this race, as well as on top of the points that he got last race as well. So a good points haul for these two here. Big Kid Daddy, a definite good points haul as well in 3rd position, coming from after a pretty humongous crash there.
driver of the day.
Driver of the day, definitely. I definitely agree with you there. Driver of the race, driver of the day.
As in driver of the race. I don't know who the driver overall has got to be, but a lot of contenders for that, I must say. But yeah, fair play to Big. I'm not going to say anything more about Big Kid Daddy, but Essa up into 7th as well. He's got no penalties. I don't think he's got. No, he hasn't got any penalties. So
He hasn't.
How many penalties does Tom have? If he gets within 1 second of Tom, he can get 6th again. 2 6th places. he could gain quite a lot compared to his rivals. I mean, we probably wouldn't be expecting this going into Oschersleben, almost certainly, but he's within, I think he's almost within 1 second actually of Tom, who is struggling a little bit, but I think Esther's a lot faster compared to Tom at the moment, so with 2 minutes to go, can he find his second within the next few laps? It's tough, but you know, he seems to be having a lot of fun and having some great battles with it and making less mistakes. He's made a few mistakes, but that's the beginning of the race. But for his second stint, he's doing really well, and everyone else I think behind him has had more mistakes than him, or has had a lower pace than him. So yeah, it's good. It's gonna. I think the penalties could save him here. He is going to save him now. As Tom has just gone into the grass.
Yeah, that's exactly what Esther's looking for. Esther's got this lap, and the final lap is after this one. So
yeah,
if he's going to want to do this, he's going to have to do it fast. He's going to have to pile on a really good lap if he wants this 6th place, or he's going to have to expect a mistake from Tomji. But Tomji, holding on for dear life, all he needs to be is about 1.5 seconds ahead of Esther going into the final corner, and he can just stay outside of the penalty zone unless he picks up another penalty, which he hasn't done so. So Esther really needs to put the hammer down or expect Tomji to go off and get another penalty. Meanwhile, Schwantz, he's going to get one more lap in. I tell you what, led every lap. A brilliant drive from him, almost dominant. If this is what he's going to be pulling out every race, we may be seeing a potential champion here. I'm not going to jinx it, but he rounds the final corner to begin his final lap. Mr. Kozlowski, he's throwing everything at it, but I think he's set for second. Big Kid Daddy in third. I think these top 3 have already been decided. Pren has already caught back up to his teammates, so this battle is going to go down to the line unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, let's hope that they don't have a similar issue a few laps ago. So please keep it clean, guys. We don't want any monumental final lap shunts for these two, but surely their teammates are going to be working together, so otherwise team orders will come into play in the next few races. But Bren looking faster than obviously his teammate. Actually, no, it's the other way around actually, but Bren is actually gaining. What's helping him is the slipstream, but he's not going to get the run. As soon as Bren makes, that was close for Bren, I must say, but that almost ended in a spin, but he controlled the car nice and beautiful there, so he's staying in the battle for 4th place. But meanwhile, let's draw our attention to the man who's led from start to finish of this race. He never looks back. We thought he was going to drop down from 1st to say 5th or 6th, but he hasn't. He's controlled the race from start to finish, and he gets a 50 points to his name, and he wins the race here in Oschersleben, the feature race, with a brilliant drive from him, and I'm sure he's going to be pleased with that. I do believe he did a Kiter or Jazzmat, it's Kiter actually, across the line to finish 10th. He's not going to be happy with that. And Kozlowski in 2nd. I do believe he will lead the championship after this race. And Big Kid Daddy, probably driver of the race, in 3rd place. And I think we've got Bell Berno and Friend, is it going to be a drag race to the line? No. Oh, it's so close. Friend takes it due to penalties, I believe.
Yeah, he certainly does so. Is Essa within a second? No, he's not. He's literally just there, but not quite there. Danny Boy, an impressive 8th. Yeah, Jazzman actually waited up to finish. Fair play to him. Kaiser in 10th.
Not Kaiser, okay.
Yeah, Jasmine was sitting there waiting. He obviously couldn't be bothered to do another lap, but there is the official classification. It's Schwantz who takes a dominant victory, leads every lap, and finishes 1st. I believe Mr. Kozlowski there takes the fastest lap by just 40 thousandths of a second over the Kaiser. Let me have a
go down the field and see if anyone's taken it. No, they haven't. So, yeah, he gets Big Kid Daddy, as well as getting the points for 3rd, which I forgot what it is. He gets an extra point for fastest lap. So, fair play to him. Let's go through the rest of the results before the screen dies. We've got Pren in 4th, Berno 5th, Tom 6th, Essa with another strong showing, 7th place. Shame he didn't get 6th, but there we go. I think it was I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it was actually a few tenths actually separated. Oh my goodness, that was unfortunate. Danny Boy in 8th, Jazzman and Kites in 9th and 10th. And then we've got Leroy in 11th, Foddy 12th, Kart 13th. And then your non-finishers were Evil Dragon. And obviously, Tinnis did not make the start due to... I'm not going to say what his issues were, but he did tell us what his issues were. I need to remember who else did retire from the session as well. I think it was... Where did
It was Tinnis who didn't make it.
Yeah, it was Tinnis, but there was 15 cars racing. So I think... Oh, Vetro. There we go. So Vetro obviously did not finish either due to personal reasons. But there we go then. That's going to change the championship in so little time. We thought that Jazzman and Kites were going to dominate the whole season, but if they can make mistakes like that in every race, that is how you're going to lose a race, and that's not what you want to happen.
No, exactly. That is really going to be a kick in the teeth for those two, but if anything, this is going to really spice it up. And if this is what it's like every week, every track, every race, boy, this is going to be a really, really, really intense battle for the championship. But that concludes round number 1 at Oschersleben. We head over to Dubai International Circuit for round 2 of the Formula rookie season. But just quickly going over it, how did you find that race go?
What, the race just gone?
Yeah, the race that's just gone.
It was, well, I felt like the second race was more like I thought they were going to take it cautious. They didn't. A few more mistakes for some of the drivers, and it costed them. I think the first race, I think they were getting used to the cars a bit more, and I think the second race they were just pushing it a little bit too much, some of these guys. But I've got to say, Schwartzman and obviously Kozlowski, they were the stars of that race and pulled up a strong performance. And I'm looking forward to seeing Dubai International Circuit next weekend. Double time progression next week as well, and it's going to be quite late into the day, in the second race at least, compared to obviously like we've seen in the first race. So time conditions are going to be different. It's going to be a lot cloudier as well, so the track temperatures will be different as well. But we shall see as heading into next week, same time, of course.
Of course, yes. But for now, we conclude here at Oschersleben. Thank you for joining us for the inaugural opening round of the AOL Filler League. We'll see you next week at Dubai, but for now, take care.